going to happen.
Exactly.
When they know what's going on.
They're not on our side, Joanne.
Well,
we all
some of
know
them
that.
are on our side.
And if they haven't realized that, if you haven't realized that yet, being somebody that's kind of knowing about what's going on, then you better get your head out of your you-know-what.
They're not all evil people, and some of them are on our side, but they are coerced, and they are threatened, and they are fearful, and they're on no help.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's not helping us. You're right.
But the thing about it is, okay, if they're not doing anything if they're not part of the solution, they are part of the problem.
Absolutely,
period.
I agree. Now, I would like to bring up, we had a conference call, which I will not allude to why we had the conference call last night, but some people in Rhode Island shared some really wise advice with us about something that they did. They have been, every week, they have representatives of their group there in Rhode Island going to the open meetings of their state legislature, and they are there listening.
Rhode Island's a small state.
Right. And they have been getting to know and identifying those people in their state government who are of a like mind and can be worked with. And they've been very successful at it. So it's not a bad idea, not just on a state level, but your local level. Start going to your city council meetings. Start going to your county meetings, your state meetings, whatever you are close enough to attend. Find out who's the bad guys, most of them, who's the good guys.
But you have to, just like any other battle plan, you have to come up with people in strategic places.
Yes.
So in other words,
I agree that they're not all bad.
Well, I hope
I definitely agree with that too.
I hope the military take notes.
Go ahead, Drake.
However, if they cannot help us, then they're no of help to us. I understand if their families are being threatened and coerced. But if their families are being threatened and coerced, they could come to us. We could protect them. We could protect their families. And, we could even hide out their families if we had to. But if they are just going to keep it to themselves and continue to be coerced, well, then there's nothing we can do for them and nothing they can do for us. So keep going. We can't depend on them.
Exactly. What were you trying to say, Drake?
Well, a lot of people are missing this, and I'm going to reiterate it again. I'm going to say regurgitate or whatever you want to call it. The unregulated militia is not necessarily all armed and not necessarily all whom you think they are. I've run across several who are involved in this, and they don't want it known, and so I keep quiet about it. And they're on a variety of positions all throughout one of the little towns around here. There are several farmers involved, etc. So what you got is a loose coalition of people who understand what's going on and are willing to take action. And they do go to the city council meetings, the county council meetings, and things of this nature, and they do object to certain things, and they do bring people with them. And so the activity's there, and I'm slowly breaking into this. Now, when they realize the positions that they can take and understand what the power is that they can wield through the people, then we will start seeing change on the local level. The problem that I've had is that I got out of touch with these unregulated militia people for a series of years. I'm just reestablishing some of that, so things are coming back together again. And part of my advice to them was what has just been talked about. Now, I'm hoping that the military, active duty, retired, etc., is taking some notes. I hope they're still listening. And the reason I do is that a lot of this bears directly upon what they're looking at in terms of freedom and the exercise of it. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. I hope that addressed your issues there, Doug. We've got to get on to our next caller here. So did that address your issues and concerns?
No, I think people are kind of missing my point.
Okay.
The point is that you have to attack the problem at the core, which is the local level, number one to start.
Right, and that is where we've brought in the Freedom Reigns County project. We went over that a little bit ago.
I must have missed that part because I was doing something else at the time.
Okay, well, all of the bullet points and key points are listed on our website, the freedomreigns.us website, under County Projects. And you can get information there. You can contact myself or my regular co-host, Jim Lovell, for more information on that. And we do also cover the county project a little bit during each show. And that
you know what my big problem is the fear. The fear that people are showing against their own government.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Joanne.
Why is everybody afraid of the Blackhawks and the special ops are going to come down and they're going to take out our families and take out our towns and take out our resources? We don't have to be afraid of them.
No, we don't.
They want us to be afraid, and they don't have the resources to enforce any of it.
Well, that's what
you're exactly right there, Joanne. You are exactly right there, Joanne.
That's what Thomas Jefferson said.
I don't care how many college kids they get in their internship for their AmeriCorps. There's not ever going to be enough of those college kids to take this country out. So stop being afraid.
Not only that, but
those college kids
they're a bunch of idiots to begin with.
Right.
Those college kids are going to end up cannon fodder, and they know it. Not the kids, but the ones organizing them. They're using them.
Oh, the kids don't know it. The kids think they're cool. You know, they're going to go with the Obama kids, and they're going to have fun, and they're going to make it like they did to those Occupy kids. Those Occupy kids were sincere. And then they manipulated them, and they hijacked them, and then they put all these corporate backings and the Soros backing and the radicals, and the next thing you know, these kids are all like, wait a minute, we're not in the right place here. All of a sudden, we're all communists. We're not communists. We came here to put a stop to this.
Right.
Well, they are lower level than a pawn on a chessboard.
Yeah, they're the board.
Okay.
It's not even going to pay them. At least Newt Gingrich was going to pay them.
It's a strategy.
Right.
Okay, and you got to look at it like that. The best of military tactics and the oldest one is to divide and conquer. And if you divide the pie up into smaller slices, you got a better chance of conquering the pie, don't you?
Yep. It's called racism, among other things.
Racism, exactly. Religion, everything, ideology.
Class warfare. There's another one. I mean, the more slices you divide that pie into... Pardon me?
War on women.
Drake said something earlier about it being a psychological operation. You know, Drake, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. And you know what it comes down to in all essence is propaganda. It's not just what they're telling you, but it's what they're not telling you.
And one of the things that was not said is anything about the 2 executive orders. What they did was they dropped something that would wiggle the bush real hard to see who come running out. And then you go from there, you have another division between us and them, and you foster discontent and you raise the anxiety level. The ideology is simply that they want a shooting war between the people and the military so that they can step in and declare certain things to be such, and if you disagree, they shoot you. What it does is this removes and destroys the last bastions of hope that anybody might have, because at that point you turn totally communistically socialist, and that's an
that becomes totalitarian.
Same difference.
I'm sorry to disagree, but it becomes totalitarian. And
same difference.
That is, and you know what, Drake? You know, from what I've seen concerning the executive orders that this POS, I don't call them the POTUS, it's the POS that's up there on Comrade Hill, is doing one thing. He is acting like a dictator, and I spell that DICK space TATER.
Well, you know, Drake, you're absolutely right about that, because he is dividing us along racial lines, religious lines, even gender lines.
He's slicing the pie into as many pieces as he can.
Yes.
Am I right
yeah,
or
well,
wrong?
you know what's going to happen? He's going to have us all fighting with each other and shooting at each other, and that's
exactly.
We're not the enemy.
Exactly.
That's the basis of the psychological war that's being waged.
You got to look at the
hold on a
common
second,
denominator.
Doug. Hold on a second, Doug. Hold on a second. Go ahead, Drake. I didn't hear you.
I said that's exactly the premise of the psychological war that's being waged against the people. Right. It is a combination of everything that we've discussed in the last couple of minutes, plus any kind of icing they can throw on the cake, such as executive orders or some kind of something that is totally disagreeable. And I will suggest the next thing is going to be a direct, not necessarily an open attack, but just a taking of something everybody doesn't want to see, such as raising taxes or doubling the fuel price just because they can, or whatever means that they deem necessary to culminate this total chaos of total civil war in a shooting fashion.
You're right about
vaccinations.
You are
like
absolutely right about the fuel. I didn't even think of where the fuel fit in this.
So this is the,
you're right, because that's getting people all crazy, too.
I was involved in psychological warfare in Vietnam. Some of my suggestions worked very well. I understood psychology because I've read about it since I was a child. And it was partially self-defense. My mother read Dr. Spock and was applying it, and I had to read it in self-defense so I knew how to counteract it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, well, you're right. There's no shortage of fuel. There's no shortage at all of fuel.
No.
All you have to realize is a lack of jobs. Income is short. What are they going to do? Step on Social Security a little bit? Maybe outlaw something or cut Medicaid, Medicare, name something. It doesn't matter, but so long as it applies nationwide and it's something that everybody is concerned with right now, and all of a sudden the government does too, well, by golly, I'm getting my shotgun, and that's exactly what you don't want to do. Now, there are plans.
What they can do is they can also take us away.
One of the things that I have access to is some of the planning involved in some of this, and some of this planning is very concise. It deals with a combination of both civilian, military, and governance. These things have to be balanced correctly. The system that we have presently in place sucks primarily because of the people in the offices, not necessarily the structure of it. So the structure of it is not going to change all that much right away, and you're going to have a few people at the very least fill some slots so that the thing can keep functioning until such time as we got a better deal. The better deal will come from a combination of all these people out here who have the knowledge, both legal, moral, and freedom-oriented kind of thing. There's going to be a wealth of these people that we will need in terms of a brain center to come up with something that does not infringe on everybody's rights according to whatever, but allows everybody to have a combination of freedom and a little bit of guidance in that process so that somebody doesn't step on somebody else's toes. Other than that, add a little common law, and I bet that cake would taste real good right about now.
I think you're right. Hey guys, I'm gonna ditch out here on you, but I want to say thank you so much for inviting me on the show, Drake. What a great job you did, and I'll be in touch with you, ladies. I'm gonna hang up, and before I go, just guys, listening to our show too. Same time as yours, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday, and it's Liberty Underground. And on that, good night, and thank you all so much.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you.
All right, have a great night.
Good night, Joanne.
You too, honey.
Bye.
Hey, we have another caller, and I am sure I don't need to identify this person to Drake or to Terry, but I'm bringing her up now. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you are on.
This is Grammy J in Texas.
Hi, Grammy J.
Hi, baby.
What you got for us?
I just have one question. Am I the only person who is dreaming about mass arrests at night?
No, there are a lot of politicians who are having the same nightmares.
I had to make you laugh.
Well, you did a great job on that.